Okay, welcome to class, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about primary and secondary sources and their differences and their similarities and how we can utilize them for your research projects coming up. So let me start. I'm going to pass out this graphic organizer, and then you're each going to take that index card you have in front of you, and we're going to do a little activity. Okay, so for this activity, I want you guys to write down like 3 to 5 sentences about an experience you had today and how it made you feel. It can be anything from like, I had French fries for lunch and I feel so amazing because they were delicious. Or I had to walk here in the rain and I'm very mad because I'm all wet. So something like that. Go ahead, write it down.
I'll just use it. Okay. Primary source is
Okay, we're writing down on the index card, not on that.
here. Okay. Primary source.
Okay, that's not what we're doing.
Write what you did. What did you do today?
What did you
You're just writing down an experience you had today and how it made you feel. Okay, I will collect them when you're done. Okay. Okay, now you're going to take this one. And you're going to take that one. You're going to take that one, right? So as long as you just like didn't get your own. Okay, now you guys are going to read what the card says, and then we're going to go around the room, and you're going to tell me what you think that person might be like, their feelings, if they didn't say. Just kind of interpret it into your own words. So let's start with Rosie.
What is the person like?
Yeah, just like interpret it, like say how they might feel. Maybe you could say like,
Oh, I think they felt not that satisfied because
okay,
it was said here actually it was only okay.
okay, read what it says first
I
to
had
the
the
class.
best sandwich and chips for lunch. Actually, it was only okay. So he was like, oh, I don't know. What do you call that? Pickle-minded? No, joke. I'm just kidding. Changing best from best to okay. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so that person didn't really like their sandwich.
Actually, it was best, but then at the end.
Right, so they didn't, I don't know, it was only okay, so they might be feeling unsatisfied. They might not really like sandwiches, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that sandwich that person thinks about it would be good or something.
Yeah.
I love it.
They could be
Maybe
disappointed.
that person was really hungry, so at first it started off good, but by the time she was done eating it, she was like, "This really wasn't that good. I was just really
Yeah.
hungry." True story.
Okay,
True
Saini.
story.
Saini, why don't you read what's on your card?
Should I read it?
Yeah.
Okay, I walked barefoot in the rain. It felt wet but nice.
So what might you be able to interpret from that?
Seems like that this person loves the rain and she loves when she works in the rain.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and Jenny, why don't you go?
I got mad today because the rain ruined my hair or my makeup. LOL.
So what might you be able to interpret from that?
Well, this person's a little high maintenance because they like to look
maintenance.
really good, but they're also really funny and happy regardless of what happens.
Yeah. Okay, perfect, you guys. That was so good. Okay, so Rosie, can I get you to read objective number 1?
Learners will know how to identify and utilize primary sources.
And Jenny, number 2.
Learners will know how to identify and utilize secondary sources.
Perfect. Okay, so a primary source is an original document, record, or artifact that was created under the time of study. These are some examples of primary sources. For example, the Journal of Anne Frank, the Diary of Anne Frank, that would be a primary source because she wrote about what was happening during the Holocaust. Dinosaurs in museums, those are primary sources because they show artifacts of what the time period was like. Secondary sources are an analysis or replication of a primary source. These are some examples. This activity that we just did, what you wrote down, you would have been the primary source, and then your analysis of what the other person wrote, that would make you a secondary source because you analyzed what that other person wrote. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you guys how to decipher between primary and secondary sources. So, hold on. Okay, so I'm just gonna start off with an easy search. So I'm gonna go to Google. And then I'm going to, let's say I want to search, let's say I'm researching Abraham Lincoln. So I could start off just by typing his name into the search bar, or let's say I'm looking for a primary source, because primary sources are often the best because they're most accurate or they're the most original. So that's what I'm going to do. So you have some websites here that'll give you like a good start. So I'll just go, I like looking at ones that end in .gov or .org. .com, those are usually not very good sources just because they're not really accurate enough. So we're going to go to civilwar.org. Because as you guys may know, Abraham Lincoln was the president during the Civil War. So it says here, this website is for proclamations, speeches, and letters. So what I want to do first is I've checked the website, I've made sure it's accurate, I've read the title so I know what these sources will be about. And then I have these different kinds of sources that I can look at. So there's the first inaugural address, some other speeches. Let's find the Emancipation Proclamation. So what we have here is we know he said this, so these are Abraham Lincoln's direct words. We have the date and then his name. And then you can just read through it and find what he said, and you can find out his thoughts and what his opinion was on slavery and emancipation. So now we are going to, okay. Okay. So I have some documents for you guys now. I'll just pass them out. That one's for you. The other one. Oh, sorry. And you can have that. So I gave you guys each a different kind of source, and you're going to tell me what kind of source it is, whether it's a secondary source or a primary source. Remember, if it's not like a direct quote, then it's probably a secondary source, because if it has like a separate author or opinions. Yeah. Do you need help? Do you got it?
I'm just going to define.
What about you, Sani?
I think this one is the second source.
Okay, so we're gonna go around the room and you guys are gonna say why you think it's a primary or secondary source. So let's start with you, Sani.
I think this is second source because like so it felt like someone, I mean the name of the author is in there and maybe that person is kind of talking about something that happened in US today.
Yeah, so Sani has a news article from the New York Times today, and it's about President Trump in North Korea, and so it's from the opinion section. So, yeah, it's somebody giving their opinion, so it's going to be a secondary source. But it still gives you good insight. What about, okay, what do you have, Rosie?
Primary source. Am I right?
You are right. What do you, so Rosie has the I Have a Dream speech given by Martin Luther King Jr. So those were his actual words. That's what he said. So you now are able to take what he said and analyze it and process it. Okay, Jenny, what do you have?
So I put primary source, so I don't know if that's right, because,
That's right.
okay.
So Jenny has a picture, I'll put it up, of Adolf Hitler. And then down here is some information. Do you want to read that?
It says Adolf Hitler at a Reich Party Day rally. Standing amidst a large crowd, Adolf Hitler gives the Nazi salute during a Reichstag, a Reichsparty Day. In front of him is Hermann Göring, National Archives and Records Administration.
Yeah, so photos are a primary source. It is a direct representation of something. So, to wrap up, the first thing we do when we're looking for a source is what? Does anybody know? Jenny, what do you think the first thing you do is when you look for a source?
Google it?
Okay,
Or
so
do you have to determine
right-
the subject?
right after you Google it
Oh,
and right before you like choose which one you're gonna pick, what do you do?
decide if you want a primary or a secondary?
That's good. That's good. But let's say
Check if it's.
you don't really know.
or
Let's.
not ordered. They're also put-
Thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check the website to make sure it's just accurate and credible, so you just don't waste your time. So then you choose let's say you choose a site. Then what do?
Read the information on it.
You're gonna check to see if it has an author, because if it has an author, what does that tell you?
It's credible. Possible.
That actually, if it doesn't have an author, then
Yeah.
do something else because you're wasting your time. If it has an author, it means that it's going to be somebody else's opinions. So you know it's a secondary source. Right. So after you see that it has an author, let's say it's a secondary source, then what would you do? You would read it and you would see if do they use quotations? Because then you know they used a primary source or they used a secondary source. Quotations are a good thing. I bet in that article Sani has, there's a lot of quotations from President Trump's advisors or something. Okay. So now I'm just going to pass out this little test for you guys. You're just going to list 4 different primary sources and 2 different types of secondary sources.
Do we get to use our iPad?
Yeah. No, you can use your study guides that I passed out. But okay, so just to wrap everything up, secondary sources are what, Rosie?
Oh, am I going to say an example?
Like, what is it? Well, just what makes a secondary
It's
source?
like an analysis.
An analysis. Perfect. Okay, and Jenny, what makes a primary source?
A A journal.
A journal is an example of a primary source. Anything that is an original document or artifact that was created during the time of study, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good job today, guys.
Thank you.
Yay.